COMRADE live on Facebook and YouTube. Like us, follow us, and be the first to know. This is the COMRADE Show. Make COMRADE Show way. COMRADE live on Facebook and YouTube. Like us, follow us, and be the first to know. This is the COMRADE Show. Make COMRADE Show way. COMRADE live on Facebook and YouTube. Like us, follow us, and be the first to know. This is the COMRADE Show. Make COMRADE Show way. COMRADE live on Facebook and YouTube.
Hello. A very good day on top of the moment to you all, depending on where you are joining us from. This is the COMRADE Show, and my name is Comrade Lamte Ikmamusa Oreahi. This is a segment we call the COMRADE Friends, and of course today we have some issues around Nigeria and Edo State we want to be looking at. Before we start, I want to quickly apologize for starting this program behind schedule. The reason has been because we've been trying to sort out some technical issues with a very special guest who is going to be joining us today to look at, issues bordering Nigeria, particularly on the issues of security. And of course, we're going to be appraising Edo State and matters of security as well. So we've had some technical issues trying to get, the Nigerian home front, right. And that is what has created this delay. Apologies for that, and we hope that we get it right and better next time. Please, if you are joining us, it's the COMRADE Show. Let's share. Let's get more people together so we can all participate in this particular process. Because whether we like it or not, the Nigerian nation is on the edge right now. Allegations are that there are a number of persons in the Federal Executive Council who are very strong ties with terrorism and terrorists in Nigeria. And of course, you know that the Benin people usually make a parable to say that Ezega Kumuluwere is a problem, which means that when the river, gets dirty from its source, then there's a huge problem. We're going to be looking at the issue of Isa Pantami, who is an alleged apologist of Boko Haram and terrorist groups around the world. And he's the Minister of Communication and digital, whatever in Nigeria. A very sensitive position. The man who is in charge of, the data of all Nigerians, as it were. And he's having alleged to be having strong ties with terrorists and terrorism all around the world. Nigerians are outraged because the presidency has come to defend him, and everybody is calling for him to resign or to be fired, but the presidency is refusing. And looking at all that has been happening around Nigeria, recently, of course, we are getting information right now, is filtering in, that the Nigerian government has engaged the ESN, the Eastern Security Network, in a gun duel. Many have been killed. All that is happening in the country. Nigeria is at war with itself, and yet the government of Nigeria, particularly the presidency, is in denial. We have a National Assembly that is a shoe shiner, as it were, is subservient to the whims and caprices of the presidency. We equally have a National Assembly that's unable to tell the presidency no on every issue. While we are dwelling seriously right now, trying to find ways to rescue this country from, economic decay and all of that. Just now, the presidency is right with the National Assembly trying to get over $2 billion approved again as loan from foreign bodies. All of this working together to suppress our economy. But to help us do justice to these topics today, and of course, we're going to be looking at Edo security status, as it were, today. I have a special guest, but we usually have our musketeers, but for the sake of this program, one of our musketeers is very busy. Is unavoidably absent, and so we're going to be having one of the musketeers, today to help do justice to the matter. Let me quickly introduce, for the sake of this program, comrade pharmacist Austin Iremira. Austin, please say hello to the people. They want to hear your voice now.
My brother, Comrade Lamptey, thank you so much. It's good to be here again. Always a pleasure. To our people, thank you for joining us, our Sunday tonic, where we talk about Edo State and Nigeria. I want to join my brother, Comrade Lamptey, to say we are indeed very sorry for starting very late. But of course, I want to promise us that it's going to be a good evening for us. And thank you so much for joining. Please try to share.
Yes, we're going to have somebody very special person, one who knows Nigeria inside out, one who is whose experience as far as national and international politics is concerned is, it's so much that we benefit from him and his wealth of experience and his involvement all the time. And we are very, very honored to have with us a special guest, Ambassador Matthew Biki Uwaifo. Ambassador, the people want to hear your voice, sir.
Good evening to all Edolites worldwide. I've been quiet for quite some time in the internet space, and I'm glad to be back. That now that I'm back, I'm starting from the Comrade show. Our apologies for starting late. You all know how Nigeria telecommunication space is. Internet coverage, internet problems. That's what caused the delay. But we are here now. We are ready to start. Thank you, Comrade Lamptey, for having me. It's my pleasure to be here. And thank you, Austin Remira, for being present. God bless you all.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency, Ambassador Matthew Biki Uwaifo. We are very glad that you are here with us. We are going to start with you very quickly, sir. Edo State, 3 months ago, 4 months ago, 2 months ago, the whole world, was tongue-lashing the state, the authorities of the state, because of the level of insecurity we had at the time. Today, everything appears relatively calm. Sir, do you want to tell us what is happening? You want to bring us up to date with speed as far as security is concerned in Edo State?
Well, thank you once again for having me. There are certain people that don't like to make noise on the internet space. Instead, they like to have first-hand information before they speak. And I'm one of such people. I have been now in Edo for the past 3 months. I arrived at the end of January, and I'm still in Edo. When I came in, the late Aguda was just assassinated, and there were a lot of security issues in Benin. And I remember, before leaving Tanzania for Nigeria, I had made it clear and reassured all Edolites that the security apparatus that Obaseki has put up should yield results in a very small space of time, and that we will now start enjoying good security because all the security agents were involved in the security apparatus on the ground. I remember ascertaining that time and asserting that this is so. And since I came from abroad now to Nigeria, since I've been here, I have traveled the length and breadth of Edo State, and I have seen the security network put in by the governor. And also, I have visited the vigilante in different segments of the state, different parts of the state. And at the same time, I have confidently say that for the past 3 months, there has been a revolution in Edo State involving everybody, from Keke Napep driver to the Odionweres, street Odionweres, to the Nogies, to the market women. Everybody is involved in this security, because with the spate of killings and kidnappings, people came to realize that the government cannot do everything. We have to assist the government with information. We have to participate, because indirectly we are the government. And immediately people realize that, they got involved. We now have a stable security situation, which came out of the stringent preparations and apparatus that the government put in place, which I said in my video of January, that these things will take time to manifest, and they have manifested now. And I'm very shocked and surprised to still see some people lamenting and wailing on the internet and talking about the Edo situation without being here. So all I can reassure all Edoites right now, Edo has been stabilized, whether in the highways, whether in the what is it called, waterways. Edo has been stabilized. Every community is now involved in providing security for their people. Now, the second part, when I came in, a lot of Fulani herdsmen were in our forest. In fact, some of them had even turned the forest to their dwelling places, and they were molesting our farmers, molesting our women, and so on and so forth. Now, those rogue elements of Fulani herdsmen, they have been flushed out from the forest. The time is not there for me to name the different forests in different parts of the state. Those people are no longer a menace, because they have been neutralized by the force of the people hearing what the governor said. And let's not forget that it got to a point the governor visited some communities to encourage them. And also, we should not forget, in February, I give kudos to the Uromi tanker drivers, 90 tipper drivers. They ferried sand by themselves to block the potholes on the Bini Auchi Road and make sure that the spots where kidnapping was being done was filled up, that people could pass there by speed, and that with speed, and that was community effort. The women, market women in Uromi, also, after raising their voice, equally made sure that they contributed their own quota. That is what I'm saying. It's a revolution. It's a revolution. It's a revolution going on in Edo State. So that is what I will say for now, unless there are further questions. And also, during this process, I'm not just talking from reading in the books. I know firsthand, because in certain cases, I involve myself in investigating the situation. I paid a visit to Haruna Yusuf, the SSA, on the head of the vigilantes in Edo State. We had useful discussions. I equally visited some vigilantes on the streets. I visited the 3 senatorial districts of Edo State. That's Edo, Edo South, Edo Central, and Edo North. And at a point, I went to Ronigbe, where they said after the Ronigbe rubber estate, there were Fulanis in the forest. But right now, I can categorically and happily say that all those things are now a story of the past. Edo is stabilized, security situation is okay. You can go out even in the night. And I must throw a word of caution. As long as you are not a flasher, you don't show off, you don't start dividing money anyhow in public, you are very safe. They say when you are in Rome, do as the Romans do. So for those coming from the diaspora at home, you are quite welcome. But please, you should stop show off business, because it's very dangerous at this time. Thank you for listening to me.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency Ambassador Matthew Biki Wifo. Austin Elabiran, I will come to you quickly. How would you appraise the situation? I mean, listening to and the ambassador speak right now. I mean, how will you rate the governor on the issue of security in Edo State? Austin Elabiran.
Thank you so much, Comrade Lamte Oriahi, and also to our very reliable, resilient Ambassador Matthew Biki Uwaifo. Listening to Ambassador speak to us for the last few minutes, for me, it has given me a reassurance, because I know that everything that the ambassador is saying now are true, because they are what he is saying, and he will not just say them if they are not true. And for a few persons that have also visited Nigeria, they've also, Edo State in particular, they've given us that information as well. In fact, my father-in-law recently came back and said he was so happy with the vigilante that on 2 occasions whilst he was traveling, he stopped and gave them money and encouraged them. So I'll say that's very reassuring. And whatever the governor has put in place, I say kudos to him, because we need some degree of security for our lives to get on. And then to also corroborate what Ambassador has said, I think it's true. There is no longer hue and cry on the internet over the insecurity problems in Edo State. So I would just want to appeal to the governor, whatever they are doing, let them do it very well and continue in that light, so that we'll never go back again to Egypt. We moved on. So it's reassuring, and kudos to the government for what they've done.
Very well.
The fact also that security is not also under the total control of the governor. So whatever he has done, I say thank you very much, and let's keep the flag flying.
Splendid. Your Excellency Ambassador Matthew Biki Wifo, I want to ask you, sir. The governor of Edo State, I'm sure the Edo people will score him very high on the matter of security right now. But so far, sir, I can tell you from what we hear that Edo people are not scoring very high on the issue of other matters, social matters, economic matters in the state. Are you confident that the governor is going to do well in other areas as he has done very well so far in the area of security? Ambassador Matthew Biki Wifo.
What I need to tell you is this, my dear brother. When you talk a lot of the times, people start, especially the whalers and people who don't mean well for the state, despite the fact that they are from the state. When you talk about the real situation on the ground, all you hear them saying, oh, you've been paid for saying this, you've been done this and that, and so on and so forth. But you see, truth, even when it is sleeping, it will wake up and it will speak. What has brought this security situation to be the way it is now, that we are now all enjoying security? And let me quickly tell you this now. If you shoot a gun anywhere in the environment, within 5 minutes, the street vigilante or area vigilantes will be at that spot immediately, and they will arrest the people. And also, strangers, if you come, you are a stranger, and people don't know your mission, they will report to the authorities and you are picked up immediately. And then again, there are cameras around Ring Road, Saple Road, Mission Road, Apapaba Road, and some other roads which I won't mention. And the places these cameras are kept is not known to the general public. So if you come and you start messing up, you can be picked up, and the vigilantes can round you up immediately, because the control station will inform the closest vigilantes that so and so is happening in this sector, and also the vigilantes themselves can ask for help from other vigilantes. You phone the next one to your area. So everything is so well coordinated, but it took time. What am I driving at? People say, oh, Obaseki is quiet, he's not doing anything, this and that and so on. Look, Obaseki is busy laying down structures that will last even after he has left. And you know, sir, that to build a bungalow and to build a skyscraper is not the same foundation that you will lay. To build a skyscraper, you bury a hole upstairs in the ground, and people only see the beautiful building on top. But for a bungalow, you just dig a little, and the foundation for the house is set, and the house is ready. A bungalow can be built in 6 months if you have a lot of money, 3 months to 6 months. But a skyscraper can never be built in 3 months to 6. It takes a very, very long time, and it takes a lot of work and calculation. So, to get the security the way we are now, Obaseki has sacrificed time. He has sacrificed. Resources, and he has coordinated the people that there is now a structure on the ground that can arrest him. So, going to your question, I am saying categorically here, without any embellishment, that the same way the security issues have been handled by His Excellency Governor Godwin Nogegase Obaseki, the Executive Governor of Edo State and the Chief Security Officer. Why am I saying all this title in detail? Is for people to realize that election is finished. We have one governor, and this governor has a plan for Edo State. For example, in other areas, civil servants are being trained, workers are being retooled, the education system is being revamped, and the hospital and the health systems are being revamped, and permanent secretaries and civil servants are being retrained to have less of a bureaucracy. All these things will take time. And I can assure all those listening to me, I'm not the spokesman of His Excellency Governor Obaseki. I don't have a position in government. I'm neither in APC nor am I in PDP. I am just an Edo citizen with a burning passion for moving Edo State forward. And I'm saying it with all the passion in my heart that this governor mean well for this state. What is lacking is the dedication of ordinary citizens to turn their life better. But at least with the orientation that is taking place, people are changing for the better. And I know in a little while, there will be an economic boom in Edo State, and everybody will start enjoying. Because once the situation of security has been brought under control, and people can move about their life business, they can do their business in a secured atmosphere. Edo people are very savvy, very intelligent, and Edo people are proud of themselves. They would rather die than to start begging on the street like our brothers from elsewhere. You know what I mean? So I expect a boom, and I can say finally that structures are being put in place by this present government. An example is the 30-year plan. Obaseki will not be in Edo State in 30 years' time, but he has brought a plan so that whoever takes over from him, we continue in that plan. I was in Tanzania, I was in Kenya. Those places, they have 30-year plan, 20-year plan, 25-year plan. That's what has brought Tanzania from being one of the poorest countries in Africa to being a middle-income country now during Makufuli's time. Because they follow the structures and the plan already laid on the ground. So, Obaseki is laying a foundation, laying a structure for a 30-year development plan. And I'm very sure by the time his tenure finish, everybody's eyes will open, and the next governor will continue not to destroy what has been made and we start over again, but continue where he stopped. So the economic prospects in Edo State is very bright, and that is why I'm here. I'm an investor here. I've come home to invest. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ambassador. Austin, Comrade Austin Remiro, The ambassador has put it straight, to give confidence to Edo people that the Edo of tomorrow is a bright one under Governor Gordon Obaseki. Given the security situation in Edo State a few months ago and what we have right now, and of course, juxtaposing that against what the corroborations that being made right now by the ambassador, what would the assertion be? Looking at the economic turnaround expected in Edo State, galvanized by this government of Obaseki, what are you expecting? Particularly when you juxtapose all that again against the backdrop of what a lot of people are already saying on the internet everywhere.
Thank you so much, my brother Lamte. We've spoken so much. Every of our program, we always say a thing or two about Edo State. I am really very happy listening to Ambassador Matthew BQ Waifo, because I know, like he said, he's not a politician. He's coming here to speak the truth as he sees it. And from talking to people down there, there's a bit of agreement with what Ambassador Matthew BQ Waifo has said. And I'm particularly happy with one of the things he mentioned just now, that in Edo State and in strategic areas in Benin City, we have cameras and strategic lights,
locations,
security lights in strategic location. I am particularly impressed because that is using technology in this present day to sort of fight crime. And that could also be another good reason why we've seen a decrease. One, if the people are now aware, they may not want to go there or they may not want to do so much. And if the agency now uses this security light, in some sense, it's control the security to the level that we have now. And Ambassador also said that he traveled the length and breadth of Edo State and went to the Ituri Senatorial District. For all I know, you can't transverse these districts by flight, which means that Ambassador Matthew BQ Waifo would have taken a car journey or a vehicle journey to these areas. Hitherto before now, 2 to 3 months, no one could have done that. So that's a ray of hope. We agree that Obaseki told us in this program that Obaseki would probably not take us there, but will lead us and show us the way. We talked about the 30-year plan. I hope he's able to do his bit on the 30-year plan, and that subsequent government that will come after him will follow suit, because this has always been our problem. I think the governor is full of ideas, but in a very downgraded society and moribund society like ours, and with the assertion of laying foundation that Ambassador Matthew BQ Waifo talked about, you agree with me that it will take some time. The decadence in our land has happened for a very long time, and it will take some hard work, some building, some plowing of the soil, making that foundation solid for everybody to come to terms with reality. Mind you, Ambassador Matthew BQ Waifo also pointed out that those that were not victors in the last election are still not happy. But if we are to move Edo State forward, we all need to come together, because the success of Obaseki today is the happiness of all Edos, whether PDP, APC, or whatever party you belong to. We were first citizens of Edo State before party, and that will not change. Party will change, but our loyalty and citizenship to Edo State will not change. To that extent, Obaseki will not take us to the promised land, but it will lead us there. And on that note, and with the evidence on ground and the postulation of Ambassador Matthew BQ Waifo, I'm reassured, and I can only appeal to our Edolites, like you usually call them, to be prayerful and be supportive. Change will come, and I think it's coming. There is massive employment going on within the educational sector. I get this information every time, and people are applying as well. So let us pray for him, support him where possible, and hope for the best. We talked last time about the non-constitution of the state executive. I believe that will happen sooner rather than later. So there's a lot to rejoice about. And on security, following from what Ambassador Matthew BQ Waifo have said, our discussions with friends and relatives down there, I think there is a movement, and the movement is in the right direction. So kudos again to the governor. I want him to do more. He should not relax until he takes Edo to that Eldorado, or that point of Eldorado, which we all seek.
Thank you very much, Austin. That's a very good one. Austin, you did actually mention something which actually was not in my radar, but I just want to ask the ambassador. Ambassador, I know that you are not the spokesman for the governor, but Edo people have largely been concerned about the issue of appointment, getting the executive to be running in full swing. Do we have any idea when this will happen from your angle, sir?
Okay. Now, before I go on that, I must tell you that our society's orientation has been geared towards belly infrastructure, where everybody only fight for themselves and think of themselves and their own belly without thinking of the goodness of the state. And to change that orientation and belief will take a very, very, very long time. And thank God, people are beginning to realize that you are because I am because you are. We together we can be able to move mountains. And what I'm trying to say here, you find out that everybody, when I came here, it was very difficult for me for some time to settle down, because I found out that everybody here, whether you like it or not everybody, majority of the people here are just after their own self-interest, not the society, not Edo State self-interest. And it has taken a lot of hard work to make them see that this state belongs to all of us. And I want to say it here now. Everything Obaseki did not see us. We campaigned for Obaseki. Obaseki is not, he didn't settle us. Let me tell you people, Obaseki is just an individual. He's a human being. And I've always said it in my video, he's not perfect. No one is, no one can be, no one would ever be. Since I've been here now, it's not my business to see the governor. The governor didn't see me. I want to come and invest. I want a photo opportunity with the governor to know I want to invest. Let me tell you people, how many people, if the governor wants to start taking photo opportunities with people every day, he will not look after the state. There will be no time. The governor starts receiving everybody because you worked for him, receiving them at the state house. He will have no time to attend to issues of the state. That is the truth. That's the truth. And if you're an investor, you have your money to come and invest. Agencies have been put on the ground that we handle it. You don't have to seek permission from the governor. No. If you need a CFO for your property, the GIS is there. Go and register there. It's not everything. Governor, oh, we voted for the governor has to see us. What is that? My people, we have to change that orientation. This government belongs to all of us. Having said that, I remember in the last election, we voted overwhelmingly for Obaseki. Some of us worked day and night. There are even some, they are not on the internet space. They don't make noise. They don't come out to wail. But they spent their money, their time, and their resources to make sure that the governor was returned back for a second term. There are even those at home who have done wonders, and they run into their thousands. How many people? We said we did not want godfathers. Why? Because godfathers were raiding our treasury and using our money for belly infrastructure. Now you people are saying Obaseki has not seen us, he didn't reward us. Where will he reward you from? His personal money. You want him now to break the treasury and start distributing money like previous governments, and there will be no development in Edo State? Is that what we voted for? So people have to really think. What I can say is this, that right now in Edo State, structures, I repeat again, are being put in place. I just give an example. During the sports festival, the money that was supposed to be paid by the federal government for the sports festival was not paid. And when the athletes got here and the people taking part, the government said the federal minister praised the he praised the facilities on ground and said they were the best the whole country over. They were the best. But the governor told him there is money that has been voted for that sports festival. It is called a national sports festival, not a Edo State sports festival. Where is that money? If you don't pay that money for us to be able to take care of your athletes, to be able to make sure the game is successful, I am going to close down the games because Edo State does not have money to waste. We don't have money to use for national projects and be refunded later. We did not build our stadium on credit. We paid for it. And I think the federal government got the lesson and decided to pay immediately, even though Buhari was in London. They said that he's the one that is supposed to approve and so on. But the minister quickly had to arrange, and Edo State was giving the money due to them for that sports festival. And the sports festival was very successful. And the minister called it the best sports festival that has ever been held in this country because there was no cheating with scoring with the athletes. Everything was computerized. If you took part in the 100 meters as you are finishing, the result is put right on the dashboard and the result is printed out. So there was no cheating at all because Edo State is now an ICT savvy state in Nigeria. Okay, so having said that, I just want to say quickly here that all of us, whether you voted for APC, you voted for PDP, it is time to keep all those things aside and let the governor do his work. So talking about appointment of commissioners, appointment of other people, even some people have been talking about local government elections. Let me start first. You are talking about appointment. I am not the governor. I don't have the report of the entire thing in the state, nor do I know the amount that is due to the state. But just 2 weeks ago, the governor came out and had a meeting with the what is it called? With the stakeholders Zoom meeting, and he made it very clear the situation of the state and the finance to pay commissioners and where the state was concerning the finance of the state. He made it very clear. Now, if after making that very clear and saying that Edo State is not buoyant enough to have money to pay different sectors, that should be made clear. If we bring in commissioners now, how do you pay them? Do you want to bring commissioners and there is no allowances or there is no finance to pay them? The governor is doing an audit. He's doing an audit to know the financial situation of the state. And I'm very sure that once that audit is done and it is finished, that everybody, all the things will be put in space. After all, the first time he was elected, he did not take 6 months to bring in the commissioners. Buhari came in the first time. How many months did it take him to name some? And Buhari this second time, how long did it take him to name ministers? So what is important is that the right structures, the right enabling environment, the right people need to be in place. And with all these cabals and all these mafiosis and all these people who only think about themselves, you have to be very careful. I'm telling you, Edo State, when it comes to politics, is a minefield. You cannot please everybody. You cannot. And a lot of people here, all they are just after is their own interest. They want to know if it's their guy who will be a commissioner so that he can be this. No, we are trying to depoliticize and detribalize the issue of post in government. When the time is right, the governor will name his cabinet. I'm not a member of his government, so I cannot order or say like some people I know in the diaspora, oh, the governor has not named this cabinet, the governor has not talked about commissioners. Why is it taking so much time? You voted for the governor because you have confidence that with the job he did before, he has the integrity to be able to take Edo State to the next level. He has the integrity to be able to do his mega agenda and bring it to fruition. And like he said, His Excellency Governor Godwin Obaseki might not take us to the promised land, but we are already on the march to El Dorado. We are already on the march to the promised land. The journey of 1,000 years starts with one step, and he has already taken the step. And first of all, by defeating all the enemies and others who feel that Edo State was their property, and he is moving forward. So I would ask for a little bit of more patience, so that he can constitute his government that will favor the people. This is not about elites now. This is not about belly infrastructure. This is not about selfish people thinking only about themselves. This is about the state. And he wants to make sure that majority of Edolites profit from his state. So I'm telling the people who are clamoring, he has not named his cabinet. It's not a new thing. Give the governor time. When the time is right, he will name his cabinet and the job can continue. The permanent secretaries right now are doing the job of the commissioners. And when the time is right, the commissioners will take their position. So if you have trust in Obaseki, why don't you wait for him to name his cabinet when he deems that he is ready for such an action? That's my question. Thank you very much.
Yes, thank you very much, Your Excellency Ambassador Matthew Biki Waifu. Over to you, Austin. Austin, do you have, in the light of what the ambassador has just talked about, do you have a question for the ambassador, or you have a comment to make? Austin Remiran.
Well, thank you so much. I think having Ambassador Matthew Biki Waifu on show, you know that every information that you want, it will not only give you, it will give you well prepared. I think he has helped us dealt very well with this issue, and also to, I won't say douse tension, but to reassure Edolites that things are moving and they are moving well. I can only say, like I always repeat in this program, all we need to do is to support the people's governor, support by action, by prayers, and anything we can do to move Edo forward as our blessing. Obaseki is setting the Thames on fire, and when it starts burning, all of us will be beneficiaries. So I can only thank Ambassador Matthew Biki Waifu for giving us a first-hand and physical information, having examined the situation. But my appeal to the governor is, having taken us from our oblivious security level to the level we are now, I want to beg him and to appeal to him and those in charge of security not to allow this good effort to slip by, and that we should not go back to where we were a few months ago, because the state will only progress when security is assured for each and every one of us.
Thank you very much, Austin Remiran. Yes, please, if you are joining us online, it's the COMRADE Show, and this is the COMRADE Friends. We've been talking about the state of Edo security, particularly comparing it, the security situation right now as it is against what was a few months ago. And of course, we have Ambassador Matthew Biki Waifu helping us to actually do justice to this topic by letting us into exactly what is on the ground and how, Edo State is at the moment in terms of security. Please, if you are joining, help share the broadcast. We are moving on to national issues. Recently, Nigeria and Nigerians, as a matter of fact, have been calling for the head of, Isa Pantami, the Minister of Communication and Digital Services, I think, in Nigeria, because information came out that he is an apologist of terrorism. He is an apologist of Boko Haram and terrorists around the world. He's made some statements, a statement to support the activities of terrorism and all of that. And the question was, before he was appointed a minister of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, was he not, did they not do a background check on him to know that this man has ties with terrorists? Is it a good thing for us as a nation to have a national cabinet at the federal level where at least a minister, this is the one we know right now, is displaying the tendency of be having close ties with terrorists, particularly Boko Haram, and he has made statements to support the activities of Boko Haram to the extent that at the level of the National Assembly, a motion was tabled, at the level of House of Reps, for this minister to be dismissed or to resign. But that argument was quickly, pushed aside by the Speaker of the Federal House of Representatives. And just in the past 48 hours or so, the presidency came out, issued a release to pledge strong support for Isa Pantami, and of course to actually, the president came out to tell Nigerians that Nigerians cannot, ask Isa Pantami to resign. I'm going to read some comments from, the defense of the presidency. It said today there is an unfortunate fashion in public discourse. This is from the presidency that makes leaders in politics, religion, and civil society liable to the president for every statement they have ever made in the past, no matter how long, and even after they have later rejected those statements. Now, the presidency is saying that, some of these very wicked and suspicious, dangerous statements made by Isa Pantami happened in the past. And so, therefore, Isa Pantami had, as an adult who made statements some years ago, he has repented and he should not be held liable for that. And so a lot of statements came out from the presidency, supporting and standing by Isa Pantami, even when the whole of Nigeria is outraged by what has now come to the fore. But just to lay some foundation to this, I think I have a footage here of Isa Pantami actually making some of these, claims, stating his position of support, for Boko Haram. This thing is done in Hausa language, but it's actually clearly, written out for us to follow. Let's just take a listen, please.
haƙƙi ne akan shugabannin musulmai, haƙƙi ne akan malaman musulmai, haƙƙi ne akan 'yan siyasan musulmai, haƙƙi ne akan ma'aikata gwamnatin musulmai, haƙƙi ne akan jami'an tsaro musulmai. Dole su tsaya su ga an bi kadun jinin 'yan uwanmu da aka zubar. Dole su tsaya su ga an bi kadun 'yan uwan jininmu da aka cuta. Jinin alade ya fi shi daraja. Duk da yaran nan 'yan Boko Haram sun yi laifi, amma kisan da aka musu adalci ne. Ka duba yadda ake kwantar da mutane, yadda ka san aladu ana harbe su. Idan sun yi laifi me yasa za a extrajudicial killings? A kai su gaban hukuma mana a hukunta su. Ka kama mutum yana kwance kana kashe shi. In ba musulmi ba ake wannan. Mutanen Neja Delta sun yi wannan, sun kashe jami'an tsaro, sun saci mukamai, sun kashe turawa, sun yi kidnapping turawa, amma kun karbe su, kun bude musu ministry, kun sa musu minista, kun ba su albashi, suna daukan salari ba sa aiki. Laifin su bai kai na waɗannan 'yan Boko Haram ba.
Okay, Your Excellency, sir, in this particular footage we just played, Ambassador Isa Pantami, I'm sorry, Ambassador Ekwenie, Minister Isa Pantami, okay, was actually telling his congregation, we came to understand that it's an Islamic cleric, that Nigeria is not doing well, to Boko Haram, that Boko Haram members cannot be killed the way they are being killed. They should not be fought the way they are being fought, because Boko Haram members are family members of the Islamic family. They are their brothers. And he was even weeping that Nigeria government is doing injustice, to Boko Haram. As a matter of fact, Boko Haram members, should be treated with the way, every other Nigerian is being treated. As a matter of fact, compare Boko Haram members to, what's his name, the Niger Delta, what's it called, Niger Delta youth that were agitating for a better state of Niger Delta, as it were. And a lot of other statements, okay, alluded to Isa Pantami, okay, as an apologist of Boko Haram, as an individual who supports the activities of Boko Haram and Al-Qaeda. He has made some very strong statements, and he's a minister of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Ambassador Matthew Biki-Uwaifu, I can tell you that Nigerians are outraged. I don't know how you feel, and I don't know what you have to say concerning what is just developing right now about Isa Pantami.
Hello, sir. Can you hear me?
We can hear you very well, sir.
Okay. Good evening, everybody. Thank you all for having me. To be frank with you, I will say it without any embellishment, that not only are Nigerians outraged, they see a rape on democracy being done, they see terrorism being promoted, and they see man's inhumanity to man and crimes against humanity instigated by this same minister, Isa Pantami, taking place. Now, let me tell you the truth. The matter of on ground is so simple. As the Federal Republic of Nigeria, I will throw aside my position, whether as ambassador or what, I will keep that aside. I do not owe, I have always said it, I don't owe any politician, living or dead, any penny. And I don't intend to have any government post. What is my intention is that Nigerians should have peace in their country. Nigerians should go about their business without fear. And in this case, is it not amazing that a whole minister that went before the House of Representatives, the Senate, they vetted him before he was appointed a minister, and they cleared him that this man can be a minister? Is it not a shame? Is it not a shame? That would tell you that the House of Assembly, both of them, are just rubber stamps for the government. They don't want the good of Nigerians. Otherwise, that man would never have been made a minister. Now, let me tell you, in ATB, that is the technical, I think, University of Bauchi, he made statements, some inflammatory statements, even talking about how Christians are flies, they should be killed. He used the word killed. And not only that, he said that Boko Haram, as far as he is concerned, are human beings and should be treated so. And he said that Niger Delta. Now, you tell me, during the Niger Delta agitation, did you ever see the Niger Delta people going to people's houses to kidnap them? Did you ever see people in Sokoto or people in Jigawa State or people in Zamfara State being kidnapped and banditry and whatever name they decide to give it, hoodlums or whatever, taking sway? During the Niger Delta agitation, did you see the Kaduna Abuja way being a no-go area? Do you know by his inflammatory statements how many soldiers, Air Force men, police that we have lost in the Northeast because of one man who cannot control what he's talking about? Let me tell you, and this is my personal opinion, I do not owe any apology to anybody. And if you like, you can jail me, you can't jail my mouth. I have to say the truth the way it is. And the truth is this: the presidency is a conspirator in this. Boko Haram business, banditry business has become an industry in Nigeria, feeding the and that shaping the defensible. It's a shame. It's a shame and a rape on Nigeria as a country. Everywhere, every people sleep with one eyes open. The prices of everything has spiraled. How will the poor man survive in Nigeria again? When you have a bag of rice going from 7,500 in 2015, now it's about 30,000. Eh? And the government is refusing to pay the minimum wage. What is 30,000 now? 30,000 cannot buy you a bag of rice and tomato to take home. And all this is emanating from the security situation created by Boko Haram and the bandits. So what am I saying in effect? For a man that has professed himself for such dangerous organization, for a man that has said that he's a jihadist, a man that has links to Al-Qaeda of the Sahara, and that have links to the Salafists, such a man is a danger to this nation. And in civilized communities, they will not even debate about his sacking. The president would have just removed him. But I must tell you the truth. Me, I'm saying this now. When we were told in 2014, 2013, that Buhari, when it comes to Nigeria, will Islamize the country, people were shouting, oh, it's not possible. Hey, this and that and so on. Hey, it is not possible. The pastors who were shouting because of their own selfish interest. They did not look at the main cause of what people were talking about. Right now, let me tell you the truth. They thought the churches will be banned, this will be done. No, right now, you tell me, are we not living in an Islamic state whereby a supporter of a terrorist organization can be made the Minister of Communication and Digital Technology? He is the one who is in charge of our BVN. He is the one who is in charge with our national ID cards. And NIN is the one in charge. And yet this man is a Confucianist. He is in charge of Confucianists. And he has said that Confucianists should reign. Do we have one country? Let me ask you right now, personally, I'm speaking from my own view. We don't have a country. I voted for Buhari in 2015 while I was dying for change. I wanted a change by all means. I was tired with the endemic corruption. 2019, I transferred the whole place because I felt Buhari was sick throughout his first term. Second term, he will do better. But this is even worse. And now I'm saying it. The presidency has a hand in the confusion in Nigeria. They have a hand in the killings of Nigerians everywhere. Pantami being in charge and being a terrorist sympathizer is very dangerous for this country. The earlier they remove him, the better. Where are men of integrity? Where are the freedom fighters of old? Where are they? This man is dangerous to everybody, every time. He has turned everybody against each other by funding Boko Haram. I grew up, I stayed in the north for a very long time. The Hausas are peaceful people. The Hausas are peaceful people. I have lived with them in Kano, in Jos, Guzo, Zungeru, Brini Kebbi, Sokoto State, Yola, Mubi, name it. In the north, Mina, I transferred all those areas when I was young. And I'm telling you, Nigeria is a different place. We have a president in charge of Daura local government, not Nigeria. Buhari should wake up and be responsible for this country. He should wake up and accept his responsibility, not using toothpick all the time. It not concern me. It concerns you. It concerns you. I have traveled around other African countries. Nigeria is going into debt that even our children's children will not be able to pay. Everything is being destroyed, and it starts from the state of security. And on security, this government has failed us, failed their promises. It doesn't matter whether Eli Mohammed will come and lie to us. They have failed, and the earlier they change it, the better. But one thing I must say, all those who want to continue to spill innocent blood in Nigeria, they will not find peace. Their family will not find peace, and their children will not find peace. Isa Pantami must go, and go now. It's very annoying, and every Nigerian should speak up, because this is about your future. Isa Pantami is put in charge of communication and digital technology. So he knows the movement of the Air Force, he knows the movement of the Army, he has the database of the Navy, he has the database of the police. And he is exposed to our BVN, to our data, and he can profile all of us. My friend, that man is dangerous and should be removed immediately. Failure to do that, then this government has sold us. Sorry that I'm very emotional about this. That is the truth. Isa Pantami is behind all our problems of Boko Haram, the increase in banditry, the illegal mining in Zamfara. He is in charge of it. He's in charge of it because he's manning as a Boko Haram sympathizer. No wonder all of a sudden you find the arms for the Nigerian army in the hands of Boko Haram. How did they get there? Boko Haram is more armed than the Nigerian army. How can that be possible? And we keep the soldiers that are fighting in the front don't have equipment. Information is being passed to Boko Haram. How do they get the information of how the different brigades of the army and where they are located? Isa Pantami has all that. And until it's removed and people like him are removed from government immediately, Nigeria is fighting a losing battle. Thank you for listening to me. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Ambassador. Austin, before I bring you on, I just want to hear what one of our Nigeria's activists said, recently about this whole matter with Isa Pantami. Let us just hear, please.
The presidency is not Garba Shehu. The presidency is not even Muhammadu Buhari. The presidency is an institution, and that institution must not be seen in any way whatsoever supporting someone who has been seen, who is now known to have been a terrorist sympathizer. We cannot be a nation that allows people who support terrorism to be out there in our public domain as public servants. We cannot have a minister of a sector that is so sensitive as per our information. Everything under that sector be someone who is a terrorist sympathizer, whether has been or still is, or whether he repented or not repented. That is not the issue. The issue is that our presidency, which is an institution, must not be seen in any way supporting and conniving with a terrorist sympathizer. You cannot come and tell me that Pantami was a child when he made those statements. He wasn't a child when he made those statements. He wasn't a teenager when he made those statements. He wasn't a young adult when he made those statements. He was a fully fledged adult. I was pregnant in 2001 with my last child when 9/11 happened. When Taliban issue was all around, that child is going to be 20 December this year. That child is already an adult. Talk less of somebody who is about my age at that time. I was born in 1973. And that's about the time that also Pantami was born. So we were not teenagers when he made those statements. He was an adult, a developed adult with his mind, and he knew what he was doing. That today he has been found out. Today he has been found out and he's apologizing. It's not a reason for presidency to come out and make such statement that they released today, signed by Garba Shehu. We must not be a nation that allows terrorists and those who sympathize with terrorism to be our ministers or in our public offices.
Anyhow,
I think they're going to look at you aloud.
Austin, can this country, can this nation still hold together? Can Nigeria still hold together?
My brother Lampton, thank you so much. We have passed through this road many, many times. But for the sake of patriotism, for the sake of Nigeria, we shall continue to lend our voice. Remember, we talked about this last week. In fact, at the COMRADE show, we had a thorough discussion about this, thinking that the federal government will heed to the voice of reasoning. Every time, I don't want to think that we are going down the gutter. The federal government keep bringing us back to that gutter. It is sad. There is no gain for me re-echoing what Ambassador Matthew Biki Wifo has said, and even listening to Aisha, what she has just said. It is totally clear that the federal government in itself are now supporting, if not Boko Haram themselves. In a very sane environment, not only would this minister be removed, it will be in the hands of the SSS with interrogations and useful information on how we are going to take our country from where we are now. Rather, the painful aspect, the minister is not even the one talking much, Lamptey. It is the presidency now that have been talking so much about this. They are defending what our people are crying out for. What a disconnect, Lamptey. The voice of the people is the voice of God. Even the Talakawas and the small people, even in the north, are also crying foul of this man. Not to talk of those in the south, in the west, and the east. How much does the federal government need if everybody is lending their voice? That the simplest thing you can do is to get this man removed first as a minister and hand him over to authorities for interrogation. I listened to Garba Shehu and I was crying. What are we talking about? He was even comparing Isa Pantami to the issue of Kemi Adeosu, the SY Minister for Finance. Having made a wrong comparison with the Niger Delta, it took another turn. And I listened to the other spokesman. Why are we defending what is totally wrong? What has come of us? I voted for Buhari, thinking that as a general, security will just be a thing of the past upon hours of him being elected as president. This is almost 6 years, my brother Lamptey. We have never been this bad. You mentioned it in our program many times. Nigeria is not at war, yet our citizens are dying in numbers. And a retired general in the aim of affairs, keeping quiet. What is the value of one Nigerian soul?
Austin, just while you are still on, I want you to just marry all this together. On Wednesday, Undidi Elumelu, the minority leader in the Federal House of Reps, called for the head of Isa Pantami and asked that the House should take a position, probably to summon the presidency to ensure that he's kicked out. But the Speaker of the House of Reps did not want to hear that argument, waved him aside, and brought in something else less significant. Now, I just want, because right now we don't know how many Isa Pantami we have as ministers in this cabinet, headed by Buhari.
I can tell you for free that there are so many. There are so many. Remember, the former head of state of Nigeria once said, an insurgent that lasts more than 48 hours has the government backing. That's a truism. Insurgents, according to Apostle Matthew Biki Uwaifo, has become a business for the elite. What do you expect of Benjamin Miller? Do you not know his antecedents? He collected money of his client from the United States, to be precise, Los Angeles or California. That's how he was removed from the bar list in America, and he found himself in Nigerian politics, and he's now the head of the House of Rep.
If what you are saying right now is true, that is another Isa Pantami we have in government in a different level.
Of course.
Let me quickly go to Ambassador. Your Excellency, sir, Ambassador Matthew Biki Uwaifo. How many Isa Pantami do we have in this government, sir?
Let me tell you, the Beninese have a parable that when water is dirty from the source, the whole river will be dirty. First of all, if you go and check pre-2015 and all that were said, even as at that time, the president himself was not in government that time, but he said and presented the same case that Pantami said now about Boko Haram. The governor, the President Buhari said the same thing, that Boko Haram are our brothers, they should be treated with gloves, soft gloves and so on. Now you just tell me, which country in the world make a sworn terrorist, a sworn one, rehabilitate them, send them to school, pay them salaries under the name of resettlement? Ask yourself, it's been coming for quite some time. Tell me which sane government around the world can do that. Which sane government around the world can make promises to their people that, hey, they will provide life, the food situation will be this, and the people are crying. And yet, the federal government refused to act. What I'm telling you here is this. I told you before. The presidency is complacent in this whole matter. And by making the example of the river, I'm talking that President Buhari has a grand plan. That is the truth. And the constitution he swore before to defend, he has renegraded on it. He's no longer defending the constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, but he's defending the constitution of the Greater Fulani Empire. That is the truth. Do you know why Isa Pantami said that if you do not have a NIM card, you cannot have your SIM card registered? That NIM card registration was an excuse to bring in the Fulani from Mali, from Niger, from northern Ghana, from Togo, from Chad and all that, to enter Nigeria illegally and be registered. That is the truth. That is the truth. That NIM card exercise, that's what happened. A lot of illegal people, it was just an opportunity to bring in the foreign Fulanis to register in Nigeria, and that's it. And how do I say this?
Ambassador, sir, Ambassador, this, you are making a very strong allegation. This is a very strong allegation.
Let me tell you, forget ambassador. I'm a Nigerian, and I'm telling you that with Pantami being there and going by his pedigree of Pantami, and going by the fact that the governor of Benue State, an assassination attempt was made on the life of the governor of Benue State. And what did Funam tell you? Funam stood up and told you that yes, they were responsible. Metiala came out and said he should have been killed. Was anybody arrested? Was anybody arrested? This is what I'm telling you. It's a grand plan, and the plan will fail because the South will not allow it. It will fail. The Middle Belt will not allow it. The Hausas too have woken up. They will not continue to be oppressed in their own place. The young Hausa people are saying, this is our own area too. We have power. We should have power over our resources. So what am I saying? Nigeria will not break up. It will not. But people will assert their rights. People will speak their mind because this is the only country we have. I'm from Edo State. I don't know any other country. I'm not a citizen of America or anywhere. I am a Nigerian, and Nigeria is my home. And it's in Nigeria I will die and be buried among my people. So to say the truth, it's not just if Patani, who said that Christians should be used as fodders, that Hausas who are not Muslims but are Christians should be killed, and that is a jihad. The more Christians you kill, the more you will enter heaven. If he can make those statements, and then they are now telling us without, sorry, there was a plane overboard. If he can make those assertions and make those inflammatory statements, and the House of Assembly, who is supposed to be responsible, cleared him as a minister, what are you telling me that my statement is what? Does that compare to what he said? I am telling you, foreigners were registered during the registration of NIM. Foreigners came in. And let me tell you, go to Sokoto State. Jibia is the border with Niger. I've been there. Daura is just less than 100 kilometers from the border, from Maradi. Just less than 100 kilometers. I know what I'm talking about. The border is porous, and they cross with Okada. That is this Tetenape and machines. They cross the border. Ferry rides, 2 illegal routes and everything. But in the south, you are talking that south, they close, what is it called, Diroko border and all that and so on and so forth. Look, the government should be responsible. We have one country, and anyone that wants to divide this country is not only answerable to God, he should be answerable to the citizens of Nigeria. And I'm telling you the truth. As for the Boko Haram people, or banditry, or whatever you call them, kidnappers, whatever you call them, I am saying, with people like Patani on top, the worst is yet to come. You better, right now, put the house in order. Let them stop telling us lies and deceiving us and trying to claim. This government has failed. He should put his house in order.
Ambassador, sir. Ambassador, I'm still on you. You said just now that the South will not allow it, the Middle Belt will not allow it. Have we shown enough seriousness in the South, by your own standard, okay, to show that yes, confidently the South will not allow it? Because what we are seeing right now is a deliberate plan orchestrated by the federal government of Nigeria, probably headed by the president of Nigeria, okay, to demolish all Nigerians that are not Muslims. So, sir, from your estimation, do you think that the Nigerians in the South are showing enough commitment not to allow this impending doom to be unleashed on the South?
Let me tell you, all the defenders in the south of Boko Haram and banditry are in the pay of the Fulani and the federal government. What they do is this: they take a leader from the south, they give him a lot of money, and they say, keep quiet, don't talk. And the man will not talk because he is selfish. He's thinking only about his stomach, and he's thinking only about his immediate children. He does not think about Nigeria as a country, about the poor man on the street, and the welfare of Nigerians as a whole. He's not thinking about that. So what I'm telling you, what I see in the South now, we are discussing this thing here. If you go around, you travel across Nigeria, everybody is discussing it. And in the South, people are beginning to feel that they are second-class citizens. And they are being told every day that the power in Nigeria now should go to we are being ruled by an occupation force in the name of Nigeria. Where is federal character that used to be there? Where is it? How come that for every sensitive position, for every position that matters, is being run by either a Fulani or somebody who is what is it called? Somebody who is sympathetic with the Fulani agenda, whether it's a Yoruba, a Bini man, an Igbo man. They will bring somebody they know is sympathetic to their aims and objectives. You understand? So they are doing what we call divide and rule. And if you dare oppose them to say Nigerians are suffering, this one, they try to neutralize you. And that's the truth, my dear brother. So what I'm saying, the South, they are noticing it. Must you bear a Muslim name now? If you don't have a Muslim name, you cannot be a minister. If you don't have a Muslim name, you can't. You check it. Head of custom.
Okay, sir, the question I'm asking is, are we ready to defend ourselves, those of us in the South?
Let me just tell you, I have been here for quite some time, and I will tell you the truth. Our people, they are ready. Majority of Nigerians, they don't take to the internet. They don't know the newspapers, but they know hunger and poverty. Poverty does not know race. Poverty does not know tribe. Poverty does not know whether you are tall or short. If you are hungry, my brother, you are hungry. Poverty does not know whether you are a Christian or Muslim. Nigeria has become the poverty capital of the world. Just as riches does not know whether you are a Bini man, an Igbo man, or whatever. Riches, if you are rich, you are rich. So what I'm telling you here, people are tired of this life that is on ground now. And if the federal government does not start to put structures in place that will at least show that they mean business, they mean good for Nigerians and the welfare of Nigerians, I am telling you, my brother, you can wake up one morning and something like SARS will just happen. And that one, they cannot stop it because it will be spontaneous. People will be tired. Enough is enough. If you want to kill us, make you kill us. People will be tired. It's better we die by bullet than to die of hunger. That's the point I'm telling you. People are tired. People are tired. That's the truth. And not only in the South, the Middle Belt and a lot of houses in the North, they are tired also. They are tired of this poverty, my friend, that is hanged on our neck, despite all the money that Nigeria has. That's the truth, my dear.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much. Austin Romero.
They are not on the internet. They are not on the newspaper. They are feeling the hunger. Everybody is hungry. I cannot say because I can eat, I don't see the hunger around me. If one tree is in the forest, one tree cannot make a forest. That's the truth, my brother. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Austin Romero, what is the way forward? Now, I ask you this, and I'm going to add something to it. A couple of days ago, it's all going right now. The Nigerian security operatives, they have engaged the Eastern Security Network, the army under Nnamdi Kanu in the East. And we hear already that many are already feared there, including the deputy, leader of the ESN army. Nigeria is engaging them seriously right now, and they are killing these boys. And the way Nigeria take the matter of IPOB and ESN, we don't see the same commitment shown to Boko Haram and all of these people. Before you call me my brother, there's the American Senate or the American Congress discussed the issue of what's it called the Fulani herdsmen, and they made some very important revelations, and I like to play that excerpt so that we understand what is happening here before you come in. Let us just take a few minutes to listen to this.
The largest dominant driver of conflict in the Middle Belt region is committed by Fulani extremists who appear driven in large part by ethno-religious chauvinism against mostly Christian farmers, though I do note that there are elsewhere Shia Muslims who are also victims, and that intra-Sunni conflicts also exist within the Muslim community as well. Nigerian Bishop William Avenya will testify today that, and I quote in part, "The mass slaughter of Christians in Nigeria's Middle Belt by every standard meets the criteria for a calculated genocide from the definition of the Genocide Convention." And yet he notes, and I quote him again, "No one has ever been arrested or questioned or prosecuted or convicted of any charge related to this spree of killings which has been going on for at least 5 years." In its November 18, 2020 report to the International Criminal Court, the Jubilee Campaign writes, and I quote in pertinent part, "Violence that has taken place in Nigeria's Middle Belt is spiraling out of control, costing the lives of thousands of civilians and destabilizing the country and region. The violence is often characterized as a, quote, intercommunal conflict between herders and farmers over natural resources. However, the well-worn label is now obsolete due to the increasing asymmetry in attacks, as well as the steadily increasing frequency and organizational planning of Fulani militant attacks against civilian targets. It's worth noting that what separates this situation from that of Boko Haram and the Islamic State, West Africa, is the fact that the Nigerian...
Anyway, that is a committee level at the level of the American Congress. Now, one startling revelation made there, which we know, is that since we started talking about Fulani herdsmen, terrorism, and all these things, nobody has been arrested, nobody has been convicted, nobody has been brought to book. All of these, they all tally with what we now see from a terrorist and a less terrorist minister in the Federal Executive Council of Nigeria. Comrade Irabira, where do we go from here? What is the way forward?
Well, like we've said in this program, I don't want war. But it seems to me that those piloting our affairs, especially the federal government, are edging us towards that. You would also ask me, are we not at war already? I would answer, we are, but it's not clear yet. It's only the federal government that can bring this under control. We've given many reasons of things we need to do. We've pressed on the House of Assembly, that is the House of Rep and the House of Senate, to do the needful. We've called on the president to do the needful. We've called on ministers to do the needful. We've called on those in charge of Nigeria affairs to do the needful. But it seems to me and you, Lamte, that there is a resolve not to do the right thing. And I'm afraid if these are not done, we would have no choice but to be at war. War is not good. It's not the best way to resolve this. Nigeria can still be savage if all of us in position of authority and power, led by the president, do the needful. The only way out of this is to restructure. And restructure we must. If we don't do that, I'm afraid, Lamte, it will be war. Because you listen to that analysis now, different countries and their different interests are beginning to be interested in Nigeria. And once they see what they want to benefit, I can tell you, they will schemishly push for war and get what they want. They can get the sympathy of the Eastern Network, use that angle to get into Nigeria. So our leaders should be guided. Our leaders should be guided. And next election, if we get there, should be a watershed. We need to dismantle that constitution. We are not going to say the Fulani should go away if we don't break. But if we must exist, let it be region by region. You do what you want to do with your region. You can appoint all the Fulanis that you want to. You can appoint them over in Edo State. You can't control the entire country. But if we don't do this, Lamte, I am afraid, I've said it the umpteenth time, it will be difficult. War may just be the only solution to this imbroglio if our leaders, our president, the House of Rep, the House of Senate, the governors, those in authority fail to listen to the voice of reasoning. I know we don't have time, but I also want to ask, I think Opus Odima was with the president. I am eager to know the state of the president in terms of health, in terms of coordination, in terms of talking. Because I refuse to believe that this was the president everybody supported to lead our country to the next level.
The man was just a green snake under the green grass, my brother. He's the man. He has always had his plan. There's no doubt about it. He's the man. He knows what he's doing. Many Nigerians say that.
So if that is true, because I looked at the video with Opus Odima and Buhari, I was trying to read through to see if there are issues that are not clear. But from what we now know, it seems it's him. And he was a green snake in the green grass.
From what we even know, Austin, Opus Odima is not a moral man. I mean, we should know that right from the very beginning. Opus Odima is the man right now bringing these people to come and attack his own people and kill his own people. He's unable to reach a truce with his people. He's a major infiltrator, to this, caliphate that is trying to talk about everywhere right now. We can say that. It's what we see.
That's what Ambassador Matthew Biki Uwaifo alluded to. They look for the Southerners that are sympathetic to their cause
for selfish reasons.
Yes, whose hands are dirty to continue this. So it is sad. The president led by Buhari should change course now. If not, it will certainly be war for this country, my brother.
Ambassador, I know that where you are out of there is no lights, but can you still hear us? Ambassador, sir, can you hear us?
I think maybe we've lost him.
It's possible. Okay. On a last note, before we round off this session, sir, Austin, if war comes, are we ready? From your own perspective.
Well, Lamte, the question is, no matter how prepared you are, would we ever be ready for war? Nobody will, because you don't know what the outcome is going to be. That is why every reasonable person is trying to avoid it. You understand? Nobody will ever be ready except...
Austin, let's hear from this caller. Can you hear me?
Hello, can you receive the call now?
Go ahead, sir, we can hear you.
Okay, I am the Samson Loma. I live in Austria. I've been listening to what for the discussion there. So I just want to contribute a little.
Go ahead, sir.
Yeah, so hello.
Can you turn down your device and just talk to us, please?
Okay. Yeah, hello. Yeah. Can you hear me now?
We can hear you. Go ahead, sir. What's your name and where are you calling from?
Yeah, I'm calling from Austria.
Go ahead.
It's been a long time. I've been listening to your program for so long that there's no time for me to sit down and have my own contribution. There was a time you sent me a number, but yet I couldn't be able to fix things. So I love what you are doing, my big brother. May the Lord continue to guide you and protect you.
Amen.
And bless you more. What you have been doing for you. And even the way you campaign for about all of us, I know. I just thank you so much. I appreciate.
Thank you, sir.
So, like what is going on now, Nigeria is not nothing to be talked about anymore. So, what we need to be discussing now, how can we organize ourselves to South as a whole? These people, they have a vision. If you listen to what they are saying, all this man have been saying, this Igbo man, what is his name, Nadukanu, what he have been saying is people don't bow his idea. This man is a prophet. I am a Christian. I'm a man of God. So this man is a prophet. What he's saying says it is reality. If we can unite, it doesn't matter. Let us take away pride and all these things, and join force together to force one cause, our enemy. These people, their plan is right from before the amalgamation. These people already have a mind of conquering the whole of the whole of the nation. The Nigerians, before everything, they have all this plan in their heart. You know, it's not today. Right from the 1960 on down. If you watch out and listen to all the way they have been functioning, you will know that these people, they are in for conquering. And they have conquered the whole Nigeria since. If you look at it, the way they operate, you know that they see us as nobody could be a Fulani friend. Fulani cannot be friend to anybody. They will only laugh with you and eat with you, but they can kill you easily. So for some to be thinking and discussing federal is a terrorist. They are terrorists. Their ministers are terrorists. If people could know how to map out the whole thing, they already map everything. And look at the Edo as a whole now. Inside the bush, I will be able to find out what is going on there. They already conquered, have the land, have built everything, have their militaries inside the bush. If it is just by fire and a little while, they just want to see how they can press Igbos. If they are able to press Igbo a little, then every other person is easy. So if you don't blame Muslim men, you don't accept Islamic religion their own way, they kill it. They will come out in mass and start slaughtering. It is even this IPO movement that can the whole thing. If not, by now their operation would have been for the whole South by now. So we should please see how we can reason and together and see how we can mobilize and unite ourselves and see how we can support and do something. These people they are in for war. It's not we are just talking this, they will come out with their sweet mouth and say, hey, that. And that is their own formula.
Okay,
so we say they don't go to school, but they are wise.
Okay.
They are very, very wise.
All right.
Please, I mean, for our ambassador saying the Nigeria cannot break. Nigeria did not break. They are ready to surrender to them anytime. That is what is there. It's only breaking that nation that will give everybody freedom.
Okay, sir.
Now 2023, I don't believe it will happen, my brother.
All right. Thank you so much.
This is going, but we pray. It is just prayer day and night that they will peace to reign, but we have to be wise.
Okay,
and see
sir.
how we can plan and move things forward.
Thank you.
This is just what I want to throw in for us. Not to be talking how we can settle Nigeria, let's think how we can organize and unite.
Okay, sir. Thank you very much. We've heard you. The points are well made. We'll take it from there. Yeah. Thank you so very much for calling. Okay. Thank you. Austin, you heard the last speaker, the contributor.
Absolutely. To be frank, Lamte, everybody has got an opinion to this because the federal government has given everybody opportunity to have an opinion. They haven't done the right thing. We still don't want war. But, Lamte, I insist, if we continue along this trajectory, it will not take time for that to happen. And 2023, God help us if Nigeria is still one.
It's very sad. Apparently very sad. I think I'm getting another caller. Just want to come to the end of the program. Hello.
Hello.
Hello. Good evening. What's your name and where are you calling from?
My name is Chris. I'm calling from Ukraine.
Go ahead, sir. Mr. Chris.
Thank you very much. God will bless every one of you in that studio.
Thank you, sir. Amen.
And God will bless our country, Nigeria.
Amen.
The true fact is that Buhari has not changed from the beginning. It's still the Buhari we know. But just that many of us were deceived because we are blind.
Absolutely.
Yes, we are blind. Buhari came to kill and to destroy. That is the agenda. Before he gets to power in 2015, he has that agenda in his mind. Just that is hidden to so many of us. But nevertheless, we strongly believe that God is working on Nigeria seriously. God is going to make it possible. In 2023, Nigeria will experience peace by the special grace of God. All the bloodshed in Nigeria will totally stop. Yes, he will. What I just have to say is this. Buhari has not changed. Everybody should have that in mind. Just that people make mistake to vote Buhari in as a president because majority of us were blind. That is the Buhari we know from inside. He has that agenda to kill and to destroy. I remember at that time I was in Lagos. When that campaign was going on, I told the people I could reach at that time that this man came to kill and to destroy. Nobody seems to listen. But nevertheless, God is still God. I believe Fulani has failed woefully, but they have lost the battle. All their plan has been exposed and they have failed. You know, they cannot hijack that country from us. It's not possible. They have lost the battle. That is what I have to tell you, my brother. They have lost it. Nigeria is a great nation and it will remain a great nation. Thank you. God bless you.
Thank you very much for your call, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Mr. Remiran, you listen to the last caller.
Yes, it's a ray of hope.
Yes, from the last caller's point of view. He said we're blind. Now we can see. Now that we can see, what should we be doing? Mr. Remiran.
Well, we were indeed blind. I was blind as well. And now we can see. The first thing we have to do is to continue to talk and push for the right thing to be done. Where they don't listen, we have no option that the inevitable, which is the one we feared most, war, may just happen. Because if you ask me, 2023 is still not clear. The people we see around doesn't suggest that there will be anything great in 2023. So if we still don't resolve it in 2023, then the only option left will be war. We need a president or a government that will tell us 3-step agenda of what he wants to do to Nigeria. We know our problems. Now we know the problems. Dismantle the 1999 constitution, go to true federalism, restructure Nigeria, and all we will. But if that is, it will be the same problem again. Certainly, it will be the same problem.
I can say that, my brother. It's a huge one. Anyhow, Edo people and Nigerians, I want to say a very big thank you for being part of this program, for those who will be part of this program. I want to encourage you, if you are not yet following the COMRADE Show, please follow the COMRADE Show. If you are on YouTube, subscribe to the COMRADE Show. Don't forget to hit the notification button, because this is where we discuss national issues. And we discuss issues affecting Edo State and Nigeria. And of course, we equally always want to hear your views, your opinions, and all of that. Because if we don't talk to ourselves, of course, we may not know holistically what is happening to us as far as our nation is concerned. Nigeria is on the edge. There's no doubt about it. And it's going to take concerted effort to rescue the country. Whether we like it or not, the powers that be, okay, from what we see, from all that we see all around us, they are not working to rescue the sinking ship of the Nigerian boat. As we speak right now, economically, Nigeria is in doldrums, and even as bad as it is, the country has gone ahead. Okay, they are going ahead right now to borrow even more money. You know, at the end of the day, we may come to a time where we'll be needing wheelbarrow to roll money, okay, to go and buy a crate of egg. Okay, you require to roll money in their multi-millions. Okay, but as Nigerians, we don't have to wait for that time to come. There must be something we have to do. Like Austin said, we must start talking right now. We must start building right now. We must start galvanizing ourselves right now, so that the doomsday will not come. Of course, we see that we have a government right now, a federal government right now, that is littered with apologists of terrorists and terrorism and all of that, exemplified, okay, by Isa Pantami, who is very sympathetic, to the plight of Boko Haram. Boko Haram has killed tens of thousands of people in Nigeria. And even the headsmen they talk about, they are all the same. They are all terrorist groups, vandalizing Nigeria and all of that. All it's going to take for us, as we have been discussing, is for us to wake up. A caller called and said, we were blind, but now that we can see, what are we doing? What should we be doing? Unfortunately, we still have a number of persons in this house, leaders for that matter, who are actually they are all accomplices to the will of Buhari and the Islamic, bigots we have in Nigeria, particularly many of the Fulanis. Of course, we equally established in the course of the program that there are so many outside people who are just like us, who are afraid as we are, who are as concerned as we are. Unfortunately, we have those at the helm of affairs who are making us see ourselves as enemies. So it is one of two things. We either remain as a Nigeria indivisible country to rescue this country, or the option of everybody going their way may just be inevitable. As we speak, we are not talking about the western region too much now, but a lot's already ongoing there. They are already trying to carve their way to get a referendum. A lot of movement is going on in the west to have their Oduduwa Republic. Meanwhile, in the east, they are as divided as the Nigeria itself. There's the ESN. Okay, instead of the eastern leaders to come together, to harmonize, to find ways to speak with one voice, to ensure that the strength they have can be used to rescue the Nigerian sheep, but they are divided. Hope Uzodinma has cleared the way, opened the door for the federal government to bring in their machinery to come out and fighting and killing the ESN people and all of that. Whether they are IPOB or they are this, they are that, they are one of the same people. They are brothers, they are sisters. But Hope Uzodinma, a governor in Imo, is one of those, of us, as leaking, shining, the presidency to get the will of the presidency done. We hope that the other South-South governors and leaders of the South-South can understand where we are, understand the timing of the Nigerian state today, and understand that if we don't do what we have to do, then we are in for a very big and a very long dance. Austin, the comrade, did say that we want restructuring as a way forward. This is important. For those who may not be following politics, I can tell you for sure that right now, the two major political parties are already working to ensure that the next president comes from the north as well. They want to ensure that they jettison the idea of, rotating the leadership of the country. We had it the last time. The last time, for the first time in the history of this country, we had two northerners from the same region contesting for presidency. We may have the same thing again in 2023, but we have to wake up to understand that the leadership of Nigeria is not the exclusive reserve of certain people in certain parts of the country. We must wake up as a people. We the Edos, we are always very formidable when we desire to be formidable. I think it is time for us to begin to concentrate ourselves to understand that the Nigeria of today is a ship that if we cannot rescue it, we need to rescue Edo State. Individual states and regions need to rescue themselves. It's been what we've been discussing, what we've been talking about, and we hope that we all play our roles, no matter how small it is, towards ensuring that the future of our states, of the Edo race, is a guaranteed one. The future of every race, as far as the Nigerian state is concerned, particularly those of the South-South divide, is a guaranteed one. We must start the work now, because the enemies that are fighting us, they are equally the ones who hold the torchlight showing us the way. So on that note, my people, we have come to the end of the program. We had Ambassador BK, do justice to a lot of what we've been talking about. Unfortunately, due to technical issues, glitches and all of that, of course, his camera went out. But of course, we still have in the house my brother, coming from our sister, Austin Iremiran. Like I said, for today's program, we were able to have Dr. Agbons, who is unavoidably absent because of some other things that came up at his own end. I want to quickly bring on Austin to, of course, say Say last few words for today until we meet again. Austin, yes.
Thank you so much, my brother Lamte. You are really strong, committed, and indefatigable. And also to Ambassador Matthew BQ Wifo, who joined us earlier. And to say a very big thank you and appreciation to all our viewers and our top fans. Once again, we are sorry for starting late, but I think you've enjoyed our Sunday tonic again. I say have a very good night rest or morning or evening rest wherever you are in the globe. May God bless you and continue to support you so that you can support us and listen and share our broadcast. You are being our source of hope and inspiration. May God bless all of you all, and I wish you a very, very good week. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, my brother Austin Iremira. I called him Comrade Pharmacist Austin Iremira for the sake of this program. On that note, my people, Edo people, and Nigerians across the world, it's been a Comrade show. This segment is the Comrade and Friends. I'm going to be coming your way in the course of the week, of course, with matters arising and issues bordering on Edo State and Nigeria. We'll continue, no matter how it is. And we hope that at some point, this Nigerian sinking ship will be rescued and rescued by all of us. On that note, I want to say thank you for joining us, and I want to wish you a very happy week, ahead. And bye for now.
Follow us and be the first to know. This is the Comrade Show. Make Comrade Show way. Comrade Lamte Oriake, live on Facebook and YouTube. Like us, follow us, and be the first to know. This